What's going on YouTube, man? So in this video, I'm going to revisit a topic that we already talked about, but it's very important. It's going to be the Sta-21 checklist. Now, the reason I'm going to revisit the checklist is because this is where it all starts. Like a lot of people, they hit me up in the DMs or in the email or even in the comment section on YouTube, and they have all these questions about Sta-21, but at the same time, they're not ready to participate in Sta-21, whether that they don't have enough time in the military yet. They don't have, you know what I'm saying? They don't have no evals. They haven't really performed well in their job. They haven't even got a, you know what I'm saying? They haven't even put the impression or put it out there that they even want to do Sta-21. So all of these steps have to be taken. But step one is you got to know the instruction, and also you need to know the checklist. And the checklist and the instruction are going to tell you exactly what you need. All right, YouTube. So if you haven't seen this before, hopefully that you go ahead and just search Sta-21. If you're actually thinking about applying to Sta-21, you need to know the checklist. So the first thing on the checklist is going to be the commanding officer's endorsement. And then you got the commanding officer's recommendation form. So both of these are going to be something that is going to be done towards the end of your process of getting your package all together. But they got it listed as first because that's the order they want to see it in. So when you start getting your package all together, you're going to have endorsements. And so these are going to be the order that your package needs to be in. All right, cool. So like, what if you're transferring soon, or what if you don't know your CO yet? So both of those things need to be taken care of. First, if you don't know your CO, you need to meet your CO. And then secondly, if you're about to transfer, you need to have that as a letter of recommendation and not necessarily a commanding officer's endorsement. And that also works if your CO is about to leave. Like I was in a situation where my commanding officer was about to leave the command. So instead of him putting it in as a commanding officer's endorsement, the XO at the time, you know, he got CO. When he got the chair as the CO, he signed off as a CO, so he did another endorsement for me. And so the previous CO, the one that left, I used his as an actual letter of recommendation for me to participate through Sta-21. So then I got a CO's endorsement, and then I had an 05 recommendation. So you can make it work that way in your favor. So next you got your appraisal sheets for your officer, you know what I'm saying, your officer appraisers. Now these are going to be the appraisers that you need to talk to your officers that's inside your command. So your internal board is going to be the people that's working, you know what I'm saying, that's working alongside of you. If you're in the squadron, you really don't see your officers that much, or if you're in the ship, you really don't see your officers that much. But hopefully you already got one officer that you want to, you know what I'm saying, emulate. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be the person who's going to be your mentor. So that mentor is supposed to help you go ahead and gauge who's going to be a good fit for your boards, at least give us some sort of input for you. That way you could be in a little control of who sits your boards. Now, is that going to happen all the time? Of course not. A lot of us get, you know what I'm saying, our board gets chosen by the commanding officer, pretty much saying that, you know what I'm saying, these are the people that I feel should, you know what I'm saying, should sit your board. Not all officers are good officers, you know what I'm saying. Unfortunately, they're going to have some downfalls, some character traits that your CO or even your mentor might see that you would never see. But at the same time, that'll give you good input as to who sits your board. You got to start thinking about this type of stuff before you actually get ready to give that, put that information in. Because like I said, people leave, you might leave. Things happen between the time of your actual board and when you submit that package. So you want to go ahead and like fill that gap in with as much knowns as possible. So your chairperson, that's usually going to be like a senior officer. You really don't get a choice who that chairperson is going to be. In my situation, it was the XO. That was my chairperson. Not sure if that's going to work out for you, but that's just how it worked out for me. Now on the same token, I knew my XO and my CO very well. So keep that in mind, man. Get to talk to your officers, know who your officers are going to be. A lot of us struggle to even get interviews set up because we didn't do this homework beforehand. You don't want to wait till next year and then try to figure out all this stuff out. You want to have all this stuff kind of planned out, you know what I'm saying? Write it on a piece of paper, you know what I'm saying? Make a checklist, be like, all right, cool. I talked to this officer, you know what I'm saying, approves of me going for Sta-21. That's somebody I would like to sit my board. And I even take it a step further, ask these people, who are these people? So like go to your mentor or find a chief or whoever and say like, who sits the boards for Sta-21? That way you can already have it in their mind. One, you want to do Sta-21. Two, you already having that proactive plan. That way you could, you know what I'm saying, you can get the ball rolling a little bit quicker. All right, so we're going to scroll down a little bit to the application's cover letter. All this stuff I already had before I even submitted it to the board. The reason why you want to have your application's cover letter already set up is because that way you could get eyes on it. You know what I'm saying? You can get people looking at it. You can look at these YouTube videos. You can ask me questions. That way you can have your formatting correct. And then also make sure that you Same thing with your personal statement. Have your personal statement format correct. That way you can go ahead and get people to review your personal statement. That way you can start getting different inputs, what they see, what they may like, or what they think you should omit. Either way, man, you gotta start being proactive because it's your package. All right, so then you got your last 5 evals. A lot of people that apply for Sta-21 don't even have 5 evals set up already, so you just put in what you have. Now, if you're one of those people that had 5 evals, or you want to go ahead and strengthen your package, that's when you need to start thinking about your volunteer work throughout the year. Start thinking about the collateral duties that you have. A lot of us keep collateral duties a little bit too long, right? So if you have a collateral duty for over a year, it's time for you to swap out. That way you can show versatility in your leadership and your capability of doing certain things. For an example, like if you are a CPR representative for your command and you're ahead of that program, that's your program, you might want to switch to something like CFL next time. That way you can show that you're a leadership and fitness as well. Or even switch to something, I don't know, anything like dealing with publications or tool maintenance or whatever the case may be. Make sure you are all around sailor, man. It's a lot of ways to go ahead and show your leadership, and especially if you go out like outside of the Navy. Like let's just say you wanted to be a part of a like Elks Lodge or something like that. Elks Lodge is just like another organization, but it's on the outside of the Navy. You could actually hold leadership positions and hold volunteer coordinator positions inside of different types of organizations. That way it can help your package out. All right, man. Lastly, not even lastly, like next we're going to talk about the college transcripts, your ASTB scores, anything that you have to wait for or you have to study for to get a part of your package. Make sure you start doing that stuff as early as possible, even if you want to collect classes. Now, the real way you want to go about doing this is already being accepted into the college that you see yourself going to. So if you want to go ahead and just apply to college now, you need to look up on the Sta-21 website, apply to the school, try to do some online schooling. That way, all of those credits that you already getting is going to be put towards your Sta-21 credits. And then if you want to take it a step further, contact the ROTC of the school that you're thinking about going to and have them email you a mandatory list of the classes that you need to take. Man, that's a gem right there. That way it could save you some time while you're enlisted, while you're in the intake and the holding process. You could go ahead and already be taking those classes. And then secondly, even if you go into Rhode Island, like when you get accepted, you can still take your online classes. Yes, it's going to be hard, but at the same time, keep that in mind. Like you want to get ahead of this. You want to get ahead so that you could graduate on time with the degree that you want. A lot of us come into this program, we get like degrees that we don't really want. But if you could already be proactive enough, you already thought about the degree that you want at the school that you want, in the ROTC program that you want, and then all of your scores lined up because you planned it that well, that'll give you a leg up to graduate on time with a degree that you want, and you got accepted to Sta-21, and then you got your commission. So everything works out in your favor. All right, man. So additional documentation is going to be your prims, your photo, all that good stuff, man. Make sure you get your professional photo if it's required of you to have that professional photo. And you got to have that only because you don't want to have a package without something, right? So you want to have a complete package. You want to have everything up to date and then have dates on everything, right? So even if you have a PRT score or a PFA score, whatever the name is, you want to have those scores with the most recent date. That way that shows that your fitness is, you know what I'm saying, like it's actually concurrent, you know, within the time frame that you submit, and that way everything could go smooth. Me personally, I didn't really have that many. I ain't gonna say I didn't have that many. I had 3 letters of recommendation. I had different positions that I held outside of the military and different organizations that I had those in there. Like I was president, I was secretary, I was treasurer, whatever the case may be. So I showed leadership capabilities outside of my normal job scope, and then I also had the volunteering hours. So having all of that stuff is going to help you out when you start to build your package. And then if like the more proactive you are, the more information you could gather, the stronger your package will be. And then always you got to perform at work. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you're working on your package, yes, it's hard. Yes, it's, you know what I'm saying, a lot of attention to detail. But at the same time, you still got to perform at work and do what you got to do at work, even in the midst of you trying to study for these different these different tests, whether that be the test for the pilots, whether that be not Sta-21, the SATs or the ACTs. If you got to study for that stuff, that's going to be in addition to what you're doing. Also, it's going to be in addition to your advancement exams. So what I did was I had to make a decision if I wanted to pass my advancement exam or if I wanted to pass the SAT. A lot of y'all seen my video on that, but all in all, I studied for my SAT and ACT a lot harder. I actually did miss out a cycle for Chief because of that. And then like when I got on the ball, I was like, okay, cool. I passed my SAT score. The very next year I made board. You know what I'm saying? It's not because of I wasn't capable of making board. It's just that you have to prioritize what you really want. Hopefully these videos are helping somebody out, man, with this information, with my experiences. But get on the ball with this checklist, man. This checklist is very important. Make sure you're reading the instruction on Sta-21. Make sure you already knowing what type of school you want to go to and what school you want to go to. Think about this stuff now, because next year is going to come a lot quicker than you think, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.